are here in Riga. It's Driftmaster this weekend. James back in business. And also, James has brought the Eurofighter.
Yeah, she's back.
Back, looking good.
Looking good, yeah. She got a refresh over the off season. Last event we had this car out was Gatwick in Sweden, which was sick event. Like,
this is the Riga machine. This is the one you always bring to Riga.
It is. Last year we had the S14.9, so it's like every second go almost. But it worked out because this was already close to Latvia and the S14 was at home, so it just made sense.
Perfect.
Yeah, well, that's the way it's working at the moment. Which car is closer to where?
Yeah, just the location is for you.
Yeah.
The great thing is that this car, you've had this 5 years now, right?
Yeah, 2019 was our first season.
Yeah. And you know what? Because we're in Riga, we actually can go and check out where it was built because it's just over there. So James is going to do some practice.
Yep, let's go.
We're going to check out how normally 92 has become Eurofighters. Let's go. Alright guys, so we are here in an industrial estate outside Riga, just outside on the outskirts. We're here at HGK where we basically got the full body kit for our Corvette. We're going to meet up with Kristaps, he's going to show us around, a lot of new stuff happening here. So let's go look at some carbon fiber, some carbon Kevlar and some cool machines. Kristaps, how are you, buddy?
Hi, good.
He's busy, he's always busy.
Always busy, yeah.
So this is a new space for your...
HGK Composites headquarters.
So this is all of the carbon, all of the Kevlar that you guys love. It's all in here somewhere. Whoa, this is a big space.
Yeah, there's like 900 square meters. I don't know, square foot. We were out of space in the old shop and now we just rent this place, bought the shelves so we can store all the molds.
So these are all original molds and you do most of the stuff in fiberglass, carbon and Kevlar.
Yeah, exactly.
When you design the kits, are they designed on computer? Are they designed by molds? What way? How do you? Because obviously the Supra kit you guys did is so wild. Is it designed online or like on a computer, or is it something that you actually shaved down and designed in the person?
Back in the days for the GT86, S13, E46, E36, those were designed like the handmade.
Yeah.
E92, F22, and the Supra, those were like in a 3D.
So they're 3D printed?
Printed from the foam, and then you take the mold and you have the mold itself and start to produce the
So now sort of the limits are, it saves time, but also the limits are endless now with, you can try different things.
Yeah, you can do it as well. Some of the parts maybe you would like to have more than just one mold, so because if there is more orders, let's say for the dashes or the doors, so you have one mold and you have to like go one by one.
Yeah.
You have two, but we are kind of maybe everybody thinks we're big, but I'm still feeling like we are small because we cannot complete all the orders, and it takes some time because there's only one mold, and to make another one, again you have to take the guys out from the production, which delays the deliveries, and just bouncing like back and forth.
What I always thought about your company was it's not the biggest company in the world, but it's one of the most well known in drifting just from the quality of the parts. Alright guys, got to take a second to remind you that this weekend, Bank Holiday Sunday and Monday, the Drift Games Summer Bash is coming to Mondello Park. 120 drivers, 4 layouts, show cars, trade stands, and it's a much more chilled out affair. You guys can come in the passenger seat of some of the coolest cars in the country. You get to talk to the drivers, check out the cars that you don't get to do at any other event. It's going to be wild. We're going to have barbecues, we've got special guests, we've got it all for you this weekend. Spectator tickets are available now on the driftgames.live website, and we'll see you there for the hangout of the year at the Drift Games Summer Bash. See you then.
A lot more space.
Yeah, super clean.
Lighter. This is how all the infusion is going on.
And how long does one bumper take to make?
Around 3 days.
3
days until you like take it out from the mold, trim the corners and everything, and just can put it on the shelf. Yeah.
This is the infusion process, essentially putting it into the mold from here.
Yeah.
It's not it's kind of quite a messy job, right? If you don't.
It's a messy job. It's a handmade, and it takes a lot of time. And looks easy maybe when you hold it, but the process, what you gotta go through, is quite complicated. And
so they start off with a big old roll of carbon.
It's a roll off, carbon, and then this is how the Kevlar sheet looks like.
So it starts off as
it starts like I don't know, like
you could do your
make
couch.
a t-shirt.
Yeah, you can make a t-shirt or your couch with it. That's crazy. So that becomes a HGK bumper eventually, or a fender or a wing.
If somebody says, just be patient, parts will show up, it takes some time.
This is what he's starting with, so it takes time to get them all done.
Turn this into a bumper if you think it's easy. This is the mold. When you take it out, then you have to clean every mold to polish it, so the next part comes out.
Oh, I see. So when you take it out of the mold, there's a lot of residue left. You got to clean everything. So these are all parts that are waiting to be finished.
Yeah, and then the next step is where you trim the doors because you have always extra space on the sides.
Yeah.
And you take the outside part for the doors, the inside part, and just glue them, stick together and glue them, and then they also need to lay down for another 24 hours.
It's a hell of a process, like it's long. And then obviously, as you think at this point, you're still having to do more work to tidy it all up to be a proper panel.
Get it out from the mold. So
mad. And when you think about it, you see the piece and you don't think that starts from like a piece of
and then
material.
you finish the parts and
load
them on the shelves. This is where the molds are kept, and over there in the front corner is the parts that are finished. Yeah, this is an A2 front bumper, so without the covers, so you can see what's underneath. This one is the turbo version. It has the smaller boxes because then you have extra space for the intercooler.
I get you. So you have different versions of the
different
bumper.
Versions for the E92, yeah.
And then you have those black pieces that go in there. So
and then you mount here that quick release mechanism and just have the cover here.
Because the big difference between you guys and, let's say, body kit makers is that you're building them for function. So you're actually designing them to be quick released, to work with intercoolers, turbos, lock kits, things like that, where a normal body kit company doesn't worry about any of those things.
That's what the race company is doing. There's a tuning companies and race companies, and since we're building the whole car and competing ourselves, we try to make all the structures like easy repairable and on a racetrack and like that functioning.
Yeah, and the Kevlar has been hugely popular because it takes a hit. Which drifting this stuff can bend and move and stuff like that, unlike regular fiberglass, which just disintegrates.
Yeah, it will be close to I think it's around 7 or 8 years since we start using the Kevlar parts, and they still become more and more popular.
And then this is the car that I would first have known who you were, drifter, when you were drifting this particular chassis back in the day, the E46. And is this the one with the crazy engine? Yes, it is. The one that with the windscreen cut back.
Yeah, actually, this is the car that we built back in 2012 for one guy who wanted. He asked for the unique and only one like drift car, like the craziest drift car you can build.
Yeah.
And then Harry's like just did the creation himself, and actually this chassis, this car, like, is where our, I don't know, popularity start to become more and more, picking up more and more. When we invited Ryan Turk to the Gatsville, he drove the car there, Larry Chen shot it, and it just starts picking up like.
This is when everybody knew who HGK were, because this car was so nuts, because it was built with no compromise, right? Because you have the engine pushed far back, which for regulations now, back then in 2012 it was fine. Half the windscreen is the engine, which I always think is so funny on this car.
Well, this car being rebuilt, I don't know, like 5 times. There's like 3 different front suspensions being, I don't know how many type of engines.
What's this chassis up here?
That's the Smart.
Roadster.
Yeah, back in the days when we were a good friend, the guy brought this car to us, and he just wanted to do something crazy for the winter drifting. So since then it's here and laying without any movement.
My favorite part of people is like, obviously we love seeing the drift stuff, but I like the stuff stored away. So there's a Jaguar in here, and then you've got a Smart Roadster. This is an E46, I think. That's the E92, also a bonded project. Another abandoned project. So you got a lot of BMWs. So you like the BMWs.
I'm addicted to the old cars.
You keep buying.
The older I get, the more I like the classic cars.
So you got an old 5 Series.
This is an E34. Then there is a E21 323.
Wow. So everyone out here is all buying.
I don't know what's behind that cover. Probably
another
something else. Yeah, might be. Most likely. Then we have the E46 M3 manual. During the winter time, when you having maybe a next drink back home and you start to sitting in auctions, you can do some stupid things.
Bad decisions.
Bad decisions.
And then do you have some of the cars here that will eventually become chassis for builds? Or like, are these all keepers?
The original E92 and I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, where the idea was to start to build the street kit for the E92. And still we don't have time to do that. So
well,
maybe
we actually talked about it before. Though I want
See, we always talk about it. I'm talking about that already
so
4 years.
I messaged Kristaps and said, wouldn't it be cool to do a Eurofighter kit for a street car?
Yeah.
And you were like, call me in a year. I was like, oh, I'm going to lose interest by then.
Here we go.
I was
that far we got.
That's how far we got on the
So we
conversation.
just keep sending the message out in the space. Maybe someday it's gonna happen.
It'll happen. It'll happen. I said some good things take time, right?
Yeah.
So you have like quite a collection of BMWs.
Lately, this is the E12 5th series. Also, one of the bad decisions. Bilstein shocks, just the nice rims. It has no power steering. It's carburetor, but
it looks great.
Just like
These are all
go out
pretty mint.
Countryside and just have fun.
Yeah, these old school. And then you got another E92.
And E92, this is my daily or track day car. Yeah, the M3 as well.
And then this start of the video, this isn't even HGK. This is just the storage for HGK. So we're going to go across the road to see how they turn regular BMW E92s into crazy drift cars. So this is where regular BMWs come to die and then be reborn, essentially, as Eurofighter. Will you guys bring them down to bare metal?
Yes.
Everything bare metal?
Yeah, we don't use the acid or the dry ice or something. Yeah, we just do the bare metal with the brushes.
A long process.
Yeah.
And then eventually a very long way down the line you get to somewhere over here.
They're just like rotating all the time, just like.
You guys go, so we've obviously built drift cars and lots of people build drift cars, but you guys go like way past that point. What are some of the things that you do that say a normal drift build would probably go, it'd be okay? Yeah,
we just spend probably compared to other guys so many time on preparing the chassis. Like all the holes, they are like, I don't know, 99% are weld. Then they're glued, so all the chassis is completely sealed. So I don't know if you can compare the builds we did, especially the onboards.
Yeah.
So how much smoke got into most of the cars, and there is pretty much no smoke. Yeah, and that's also, well, I prefer to see it clear. Yeah. And as well. Health-wise.
All just welded, sealed, done.
Yeah, and then you don't need to take it apart, so it can last you, I don't know, 10 years without repainting. There is no rust gonna come up or something. It's an old chassis, it's beaten up on the streets, and then you want to put it in the racetrack. It definitely needs more strength to hold all that, I don't know, 1,000 horsepower.
For sure, and rigidity. So this is one that's kind of
getting there. Yeah, this one is still missing the engine lately. We haven't, I don't know, since COVID, like all the delays and stuff like that. It's been like this, I don't know, already for 3-4 months, and we're still waiting for the engine. But luckily, we have the sample or the engines that blew up, but still all the mounting points are the same. And and then we can just use that one.
This front motor mount is like super easy for everyone to take an engine in and out. This is obviously coming from you guys, obviously having to do this at some point. You said, wouldn't it be easier just to mount it here, right? Because it's so much. This is a beautiful piece of.
Well, the generation 1 or the back in the days, we attachment points were here inside, and we realized that it's still complicated. So yeah, we redesigned it and put it on the top of the. I don't know, chassis, then it's much more space, easier to get and change the parts and even pull out the engine. Yeah. So all the small things, basically, I don't know, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, there would be a different type of
so you're constantly improving, learning as you go. Yeah. 2 questions, because that's what everyone's going to know. One, if I said, hello Kristaps, I want to build a Eurofighter, start to finish, how long does the process take, usually from start to finish?
Still it's 6 to 8 months, but lately we've been waiting for the engine. Like the one what we got lately was 1 year.
Wow.
So basically, there's some things that we are related to other companies.
But if you had no delays, you could build one in 8 months. Like 8 months?
8 months, if we start the process, if we would have all the parts on the shelf, it would take like 2 months, like for the most of the guys.
That's unbelievable, because we struggled to put...
3 guys, we will get on a 1 chassis for 2 months, and we have all the parts on the shelf.
Yeah, put it together. And people buy them as completed cars, right, from you guys. So that's the difference. Some people, when you're building a car, you go to the cage guy, then you go to the wiring guy, then you go to this. Exactly. You can do it all in-house and deliver the car as a complete...
That's the best way. If you want to build the drift car, just leave it to us.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Yeah. You know what you're doing. And let's say I wanted to put this engine setup in this car. What would it cost for a full Eurofighter delivered, roughly? How much are we talking for a proper pro car in this day?
Nowadays, well, the funny thing is that with all the inflation,
everything's more expensive.
Yeah, 8 years ago you would get like a top level drift car for 120.
Yeah.
Now it's like 180.
180. 180,000 euro. But that said,
and if you want to go weird, you can reach like 200K.
You can keep clicking on the website until it just maxes out. Yeah. But I think, like, if you think about 180, sounds expensive, but you're not getting a car that, secondhand. You're getting a car brand new, fully prepared chassis. Everything is worked through everything. I remember here was the last day you guys were going through like the hinges and things on the cars to make them lighter by drilling holes in like the window wipers.
This is one of those stories. You can go weird. And
you can keep going with time. But everything is built to function, so you know it's going to work because you've built so many of these. And I think James Deane's is a good example. Straight out the box, car works, he goes driving, he doesn't have to figure it out over time, it works fine. So
I think it also is like 5 years ago since he got his Eurofighter.
5 and still.
We were talking the other day, like, have you been taking apart? No, just some improvements, some maintenance,
Yeah, so I suppose some people think it's a lot of money, but then if it saves you in the long run, reliability, being competitive, not rusting, not having problems, not any issues. And again, for a the top level motorsport car, 180 is cheap. If you want to go GT racing, it's in the millions. So like, that isn't too expensive. This is probably with 800 horsepower, 900 horsepower, like that's incredible. So that's awesome.
If somebody wants to follow the rumors, $500,000, easy. You can spend $500,000.
Well, Blaine's looking at a finance deal now. He's going to see if you finance on the website at €3 a week for the rest of his life. But thank you, Kristaps. Thanks for showing us around. We're going to head back to the track, and the boys are all practicing there. So Drift Masters this weekend in your hometown. We have to come say hello, right?
Sure. I'm going to stop by as well.
We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Let's go to the track. So there you have it, guys, a tour of HGK, and we are here in Riga for the 4th round of the Drift Masters European Championship, and we are going to be showing you guys all the behind the scenes with BC Racing on our next episode. James Deane is here, Peter Vigensek's here, the Shannon's here, the championship's on the line, and look at this place. It's going to be ram-packed for the whole weekend. So we'll see you on the next episode. I'd like to apologise for my lack of enthusiasm in this video. We partied pretty hard in Riga last night, and we rallied for this vlog for you guys because we really wanted to show you HGK. But I promise after a little bit of sleep, we're going to be pumped up for the weekend. If you haven't subscribed already, do. We're so close to 200,000. See you guys on the next one.